Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're managing compliance for an industrial or healthcare facility in Gujarat, you already know the drill. Mountains of forms, physical drop-offs, and just endless filing. Well, toss out the manila folders because the landscape literally just shifted overnight. Today, we're breaking down a critical new circular from the Gujarat Pollution Control Board, or GPCB, which mandates an immediate transition toward digital administration. They're completely ending the acceptance of physical paperwork. We're going to look at exactly what this means for your facility and how the XGN Portal is now, without a doubt, your most important compliance tool.
All right, let's get right into it. The actual circular we're discussing was issued on June 5, 2026. This is the official documentation that brings a sudden, screeching halt to physical paperwork for registered industrial and healthcare facilities. Broadcasting straight from Pariavaran Bhavan in Gandhinagar, this landmark move explicitly discontinues the physical submission of your documents and reports. And guys, this isn't just a polite suggestion. It's a fundamental change in administrative protocol, purposefully designed to enforce paperless governance across all regional and head offices.
To make sure you've got all the facts to navigate this without a hitch, we're going to break this explainer down into 5 quick sections. 1. The paperless mandate. 2. Documents going fully online. 3. The XGN Portal advantage. 4. Exceptions to the rule. And 5. The urgency of compliance.
Starting us off with Section 1, the paperless mandate, a complete shift.
So what's fascinating here is the stark contrast in operations. You know the old routine, packing up a massive stack of papers and driving them down to the regional or head offices? Yeah, that's completely out. It will now be actively rejected. Instead, mandatory uploads to the XGN portal are your new reality. See, the board noticed that facilities were stubbornly clinging to physical submissions even though the online modules were already sitting right there under the respective applications. So they basically drew a hard line in the sand to force the digital transition.
And you really need to pay attention to the exact wording here. It says, with immediate effect, physical submission shall not be accepted and shall not be entertained. That is absolutely crucial for your compliance teams to understand. We aren't talking about a phased rollout or some beta test run. No, this is an aggressive, day-one policy shift for registered industries and healthcare facilities. Seriously, if you send someone to the office with a stack of forms today, they're getting turned right around.
Moving right along to Section 2, documents going fully online, the digital dashboard.
Okay, so what exactly is going online? Well, practically a massive chunk of your routine compliance. It all has to flow exclusively through that digital dashboard on the XGN portal now. We're talking about your responses to notices of entry from inspections, and definitely those highly sensitive replies to show cause or closure notices. And of course, all your standard, recurring filings are entirely digitized now. Your annual return, also known as Form 4, your biomedical waste returns, and your Form V environmental statements, the whole shebang.
But here's the kicker. The mandate goes way beyond just the simple everyday returns. It pulls in the heavy operational documentation too. Your massive environmental audit reports, online. Those half-yearly EC compliance reports, plus your specific waste returns for plastic and fly ash, online. It even captures highly complex engineering and safety stuff, like HAZOP study reports and remediation plans. Basically, the rule of thumb now is, if there's a module for it on the XGN portal, you absolutely have to use it. No exceptions.
Which brings us to Section 3, the XGN Portal Advantage, streamlining the ecosystem.
Now, why the sudden push? Well, the board's stated goals are actually pretty straightforward. It's not about making your life harder, it's about streamlining the whole ecosystem. They want to promote ease of compliance, dramatically improve administrative efficiency, and facilitate true paperless governance. By killing the paper trail, they're cutting down on environmental impact, which obviously aligns perfectly with the board's core mission, while also drastically speeding up how information is processed and tracked for both their offices and your operations.
But you've really got to pay attention to this strict new definition. The exact date and time of successful online submission on the portal is now treated as your official submission date. This is huge. That digital timestamp generated by the XGN portal, it's now your one and only legally recognized proof of timely filing. Those old front desk manual registry stamps are history. So what does this mean for you? It means a localized network error on your end on deadline day is no longer an excuse. If that timestamp isn't generated in time, you're officially late.
All right, on to Section 4, exceptions to the rule when paper is needed.
Now, despite this massive digital push, the second page of the circular does outline a few rare, highly specific scenarios where physical documents are actually still required. And you really need to know these exceptions inside and out so you don't waste time trying to upload something that the system will automatically kick back. So there are 3 main exceptions to keep in mind. First up, bank guarantees. If you're dealing with one of these, the original physical copy has to be submitted directly to the head office registry branch. You can't just upload a scanned copy. Second, if the board explicitly asks for a physical submission via a direct written communication to you, obviously you just comply with that specific request. And third, if your unit isn't even registered with the GCPB on the XGN portal yet, well, you still have to submit documents locally at your respective office until you get registered. But for literally everyone else, it is purely the digital route from here on out.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, the urgency of compliance, immediate transition.
Take a close look at the sign-off on this directive. Signed by the Member Secretary on June 5, 2026, it says, all regional officers, officers of head office, and concerned stakeholders are requested to take note of the above and ensure strict compliance. Notice the phrasing there? Strict compliance. That leaves absolutely zero room for operational delays, learning curves, or excuses. The GCPB's internal staff are mandated to enforce this right now, which means any physical drop-offs from registered units are being turned away at the door.
So, as we finish up this explainer, you really need to sit down and ask yourself, is your team truly ready for this? Are all your XGN login credentials active right now? Does every single member of your staff understand that a digital timestamp is their ultimate legal deadline now? The era of paper-based compliance in Gujarat is officially unequivocally over. And it brings up a pretty scary thought. If a simple local Wi-Fi outage could now result in a massive non-compliance penalty, is your facility's digital infrastructure really as robust as your physical plan? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I highly recommend you go review those internal protocols today.